ready to continue. All right, so based on what we just talked about before the break, which maybe I timed that a little poorly, hopefully you have a memory of 10 minutes ago. Why would businesses want to blog?
To get interaction.
To what?
To get interaction.
Yeah. And what kind of things might they blog about? Yeah.
It's actually my job at work.
Do you really?
Yeah, we have we have Plymouth Furniture as a website where you can buy things or advertise to you. But then we have 4 other websites that say nothing about Plymouth Furniture. And my job is I write blog articles can furniture be comfortable and beautiful at the same time? But I don't mention Plymouth Furniture or anything. But it slowly takes you to links that'll eventually get you to our website.
How slowly?
Yeah. I mean, it might take you to this website, to that website.
Yeah.
If you do it directly, they're going to know right away you're trying to sell them.
Yeah.
But I just write random articles all the time just to slowly get people to our website.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a blog on your website also?
Not on our website.
Okay.
It's strictly advertising, pricing, what would this do with this fabric or this leather on there, customize.
Okay. We'll talk about how maybe you might want to think about putting one on there and doing those helpful things. Here's our blog, can I pair leather and velour?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. It's the new trend for 2020. Something like that. What else might they want to blog? Any other ideas? How about customer service and responding to people's happiness or sadness? Maybe they want to have that in blogs, maybe not. Sometimes blogs are more about, like you said, unrelated stuff that really does drive to your business. So, on blogs, you can collect feedback, comments, suggestions directly from your clients and customers, right from them. What if it's bad? What if they're saying bad things? The author of the blog can acknowledge it, edit it, or delete it. So we talked about the ones, I don't know, never been there, don't know anything about it, 0 stars. Would you feel bad deleting that one?
No.
I would not either. If, like you said, you can tell fake ones or when they're angry. The area that I see this the most in, quite frankly, is hospitality industry, restaurants and bars. Quite often, disgruntled employees are the ones that love to go back and just blast things that are untrue or extreme versions of partial truths. So you have to kind of be aware of that. Connect your shareholders. So people that are involved in the company, keep them connected. Promote news. What's going on? What's the newest thing you released? Who got promoted? Are you building a new building? That type of thing. You might want to announce new products on your blog. Give a voice to the CEO or anybody and humanize the company. So here's what I'm saying, your example of Plymouth Furniture might be Ben, right? Your name's Ben.
Sam.
Sam.
You call me Ben, though.
No, I don't want to. But I had Ben's blog in my mind, but no, Sam.
Oh.
So Sam Says, that's the blog. And on Sam Says, you talk about helpful hints and things that are going on in the industry, or can a chair be comfortable and beautiful? This couch is gorgeous, but it's going to suck when I sit in it. No, it's not. I tested it with my dog and 17 of my friends. It's a voice to it, okay? So on your blog, your CEO maybe can talk to people. Your marketing person maybe jumps in and writes a blog post once a month. Your salesperson jumps in and writes a blog post once a month. Anybody in the company jumps in and writes a blog post. So eventually you feel I know that person. Hey, I feel like I know them. I follow their blog. It gives a human voice and persona to a company that might not have one. So, Plymouth Furniture, who are they? But I know Sam.
Yeah.
Sam said, he also said they're getting in a load of those, in 3 weeks. If we want one, we should come on down.
Actually, 2 weeks. We are getting a really good truck, so
See?
come on down.
So it's humanized. It's a point of contact. So, did the business that you guys looked up for today have a blog? I want you to go look at that right now and see if they do or do not have a blog. So go into your business, dig around, and maybe it's a secret hidden blog like yours. See if they have a blog. And then what are they maybe trying to accomplish from it? And we're gonna go through everybody. I think I know what most of your companies are, but I'm not sure we hit on what everybody's company is, so.
Like a blog separate from their website, or can it be like on their website?
You know what, you might just wanna do a Google search for your company name and blog to see, if it shows up as a drop down on their website, or if it might be a freestanding thing. Or does blah 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 company have a blog? Might be your Google search. Often if they have them, it's going to be right in the navigation, but down lower or further to the right because it's not a big, it's kind of a minor thing. All right. Brandy, did you find anything?
Not really.
So it's Ulta?
Yes.
They don't have a blog.
They have a social gallery on their website.
Okay.
Which is just like posting photos of like people's makeup of the day or
Okay.
trees.
Okay. Elena, did you find one? What was your company again? Oh yeah, clothing, no blog? Okay. Did you do, what website are you doing? Not Plymouth Furniture, or are you doing that?
I'm doing a car website.
Okay, do they have a
I
blog?
do not have one.
No, okay. Alright, does your company have a blog, and who's your company?
I'm doing Evian, but it doesn't look like they have.
Does not look like, okay.
They have stuff like on their website that's like blog related, but like not.
Not a separate blog category, okay. How about Johnsonville?
Yeah, they got blogs.
Okay, good. What's Johnsonville blog about?
They developed a food and safety degree at Lakeland.
Well, hey! Look at that. Let me get out of this for a minute, if I can. And go here. Just want to do the blog. Is it a separate
Yeah, it's separate. Go to news
news?
and scroll just a little bit. I'll be right there.
So this is the blog?
No, one more.
Oh.
Right
Oh, okay, good. All right, so they support the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, which flies veterans out to DC for the day. That's awesome. They are developing the nation's first food safety and quality degree. That's very cool. Their big gorilla is announcing their tour. So are any of these buy our brats? Here's a coupon? No. These are more helpful stories that they might be sharing with you. They're kind of promoting what the company does in good for the community, or what some of their workers, maybe one of their workers went and did a Habitat for Humanity somewhere, something like that, and they want to share that story. Paul, what did you find?
I did not find, they did not have a blog.
No blog for the that's coming?
No.
Okay. And Brandon, what did you find?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. So, let's go back to this. I'm going to show you Southwest. You guys are familiar with Southwest, the airline. What are they known for? What's Southwest known for compared to other airlines?
Free baggage.
Free luggage, I love that. Anything else?
They must have some kind of rewards program or something.
A lot of them do,
Loyalty,
yeah.
something. They must have one of those. Like some-
Anybody fly Southwest or know kind of what they're...
My aunt's a flight attendant in
Yeah.
Southwest.
So their kind of thing is they're like nice and happy and silly. Like, have you ever seen the recordings on YouTube of like the attendants doing funny stuff or silly stuff? So that's kind of their thing. And you can see their branding even shows it with the heart, right? They're kind of showing that we care about people. So Southwest has a blog. And obviously if you guys go to just the Southwest site, it's going to be book a flight, book a hotel, do this, do that. It's, what do you want to do at our company? But the blog helps you, how do you get to your travel funds, camp like a local, your guide to California's coastal camping. Well, how does that benefit Southwest? Duh, if you want to go there, you might have to fly there, right? Your weekend getaway for California. Ooh, they like California, clearly. San Francisco, Dive In and Enjoy Paradise in Cozumel, behind the scenes, who hires the great people at Southwest. So that might be a story that maybe their HR director wrote about how do we get the best people for the job? Let me tell you how. So it's giving a voice to an employee there or to a leader. They have an Adopt a Pilot program. All sorts of neat things. So, tips for making your business a success. What do you think if you're going to have a blog? What kind of tips and tricks should you do to make it a success? A website that's going to tell us all, but what kind of guesses do you have? All right, I'll help you start. Post consistently. If you have a blog and you post something once every 3 months, are we going to think, hey, I got to go check out their blog? Wonder what's new? Nothing since October 2019. That's a drag. So consistently posting, not necessarily daily, but if you're known for having a weekly blog on Fridays, you better do that. If you're a daily blog place, do that. You want to be consistent. Provide relevant, useful, and valuable information. So the more useful the information, the more your readers are going to be attracted and become regular readers, and then maybe they're going to share it. What if you find an article on the greatest secret camping places in Northern California and you love camping, and you share that article on social media with your friends, and it just reached 150 new people? Does that make them happy? Absolutely, that's what they want. Ask for and respond to commands. Make it a point to invite your readers to weigh in and share opinions when you talk about stuff. What do you think about this? Or share your opinion or a comment. Have focus, but be willing to go off topic. Too much of anything can be a turnoff. So if all you're ever talking about is camping in California and your Southwest Airlines, eventually the rest of the world might be a little tired of that. Make it easy to subscribe to your blog. We're going to talk about RSS feeds in the future, but that's a way to get people to, whenever your blog posts something new, it's automatically pushed to them in this RSS feed, and they don't have to go out and look for it, so it comes to them. Promote and share what you write. Don't expect your readers to catch every single post you write unless you're reminding them that your blog exists. Share links in social media. So once you post a new blog post, go out to Instagram, go out to Facebook and Twitter and say something about, check out our latest blog, click here. Have a point of view. You gotta be careful with this one. Sometimes it takes a little controversy to get you on the map. Don't be afraid to take a stand on a hot topic in your industry. Do you think this can backfire on you, maybe? Yeah. Do you think you want to have a political stand? Do you think you want to talk about who you're supporting for president on a business blog? Yes or no?
No, it depends.
Huh?
It depends.
When would it be a good idea?
I mean, I don't know. It's just not hypothetical. Like if it was something politics related,
Yeah.
maybe.
If it's not, if your business blog is you are the Democratic Party of Sheboygan County or the Republican Party of Sheboygan County, yeah, I get it. Anything else, guess what? You're alienating potentially half of your clients if you go to extreme. So you gotta be very careful. Self-edit or hire a proofreader. How many of you trust your proofreading skills to 100% accuracy? Anyone? How many of you have proofread a paper 17 times and then there's still one stinking error in it? Yeah. You know why that is? Because we wrote the paper, we know what it's supposed to say, we're very familiar with it, and we skim over it. I've been so frustrated with stuff I've done and proofread 1,000 times to find one little stupid thing. So hire a proofreader, or another interesting tip, if you can do it, this takes a lot of self-discipline, but you read each sentence backwards. So you're looking at each word one by one backwards, and you're actually looking, does this word, is it spelled correctly? That way at least you get spelling. Then you have to read it forward to make sure the content, and you're using the correct version of to, there, and all that business. Your, whatever. But proofreading, typos, errors, grammar issues can really make your business look untrustworthy. Share a little bit about you. So your business blog may be about business, but this is where you humanize your business. So tell them, like, yeah, I'm the president of Southwest Airlines, but what you don't know about me is that I ride llamas in a professional rodeo. What? Like, that's a human thing. You gotta see what they're about and read a little bit more. And it takes a long time for a business blog to build momentum, to pull readers in and create a loyal following, just like anything. So be patient. Slow and steady wins the race. So helpful tips for if your business should have a blog. All right, I want you all individually now to find a business blog, and we're going to share it with the class and pull some of them up. So I would think of bigger businesses, bigger companies that are, all across the U.S. and or worldwide, and kind of dig in and look for where they have a blog. Okay? So once you find a few, I'll give you a few minutes to dig around and look for them. We're going to share them and kind of get an idea of why businesses blog, what's in it. All right, let's just start randomly to see who found one. Derek, what did you find?
Amazon business blog.
Amazon? Okay. Amazon business blog? All right. So, what do we think Amazon wants to talk about? Read success stories from our customers, find the latest news and product updates, and getting started with Amazon business. So, a guide to selling here, a guide to buying here. What else do they have? Info, B2B buyers embrace digital first, crowdfunding. So a lot of different topics. Amazon donates $75,000 to create 4 STEAM labs for students at Petersburg City Public Schools. So again, it's a way of showing another side of a business, not all sell, 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 putting a voice to it, humanizing it, perhaps having something posted by somebody that works there, product updates. Good. Interesting. Who else is ready to give me one? Anyone? Yes.
It's called PERRIN. It's Perrin, and then type in blog.
Dot blog, or do I just
typed in
search?
Perrin blog and
Okay.
it came up.
Okay, good. Blog.
They got all sorts of stuff on there.
And this is a site. Is this the same one?
Yeah. Oh no, this is different. It's really similar though.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
more popular.
Okay.
But they got blog ideas for everything. For a car guy, but
Right. No, and that's awesome to know. So how do we eliminate this on your Honda Civic? That's
one thing I found really interesting on here, they had an article, and it was for your Subaru enthusiasts, like how to buy a car person gifts for somebody who doesn't know about
Oh,
cars. I thought that was kind of cool.
very smart,
Yeah,
right?
there it is.
Right here. 10 best gift ideas for Subaru enthusiasts. So maybe you love your Subaru. It's almost Christmas. You go and you like this and you share it on social media and like hint, mom and dad. Or
Yeah, I
hint,
thought
hint.
that was really cool.
Yeah. And gosh, how nice. It's helpful. And hey, if you do want to buy it, one click.
There you go.
So that's a pretty smart thing. Good. That's a great example also. Let's see. Zach, what did you find for a business blog?
I found the Mozilla Firefox blog.
Firefox has a blog? Okay. Now that's interesting because Firefox is what? A browser, right? So they have a blog. Okay. So what do they talk about? They talk about stuff that I'm sure if you're into this relates like it's interesting. Petitioning for this, questions about .org, and I wonder how many of these are tagged. Here, categories. If you click on the down category, you can find out specific things, like what do you want to maybe narrow in on? Firefox, Mozilla, maybe just general information, or see their press releases. So by categorizing these and putting a tag with them, people can search, and that's going to be the case in a lot of different blogs. All right. How about Ricardo? Which one did you find for business?
I did the Aldi's blog.
Who?
Blog that Aldi.
Aldi?
US, yeah.
So Aldi is.
Even nicer than Johnsonville, I'd say. Look at how much more like home, you know, not necessarily food, but like how a Hallmark it is, you know what I mean?
That's good. Tips for refreshing your bedroom and upcycling old bedding. Okay, do you expect that to be on what I think of as a grocery store site?
No.
No, but how awesome of them to share things. Friendsgiving recipes. That's a new buzzword that came about pretty recently. Instead of Thanksgiving, it's Friendsgiving as a, hang out with your friends instead of your family who annoy you. Recipes, you kind of expect that. Why not? Because then they can drive you to their store to buy things. Dietitian, maybe health information. Blogger guest spots. Okay, this is great. I'm excited already. So, again, things that are kind of outside of their company, but easy ways to start reducing food waste. That's a great idea, too. So, that's a great example of how a business can use a blog to humanize their company and get more information out there and kind of, you trust Aldi. You want to be friends with them. You like what they're showing you. So, yeah, when I have to go to a grocery store, why wouldn't I go to Aldi? Kind of a thing. Brandon, what'd you find?
Biz Sugar.
Can you spell?
BIZ SUGAR.com.
Biz Sugar goes on there. Blog. What does this place do?
They help you grow a business.
Okay. All right, so on their blog, member spotlights, that's another really popular thing. If you have a company that has members or board members or maybe customer of the week or employee of the month or something like that, and you want to do a spotlight on them. How to use CRM to generate leads, that's awesome. That's just helpful information that anybody and everybody would want to read that if you're in marketing. Take our survey to share your small business needs. Look at that. They're also getting information from you. It's helping them. WordPress optimization, lots of helpful information, which is the whole idea there. Let's do one more. Elena, what company did you find?
I did KitchenAid.
Sorry, what?
KitchenAid. KitchenAid.
KitchenAid. Sorry. I'm hearing HGTV, and then I'm hearing HD, and like, oh, KitchenAid. A blog. I did KitchenAid blog. All right, what are they doing, do you suppose? Blog. I'll go to the archives here. Why is there no KitchenAid coffee grinder attachment? So again, perhaps that was a question that was raised by someone. Perhaps they just thought that would be helpful to share with people. Do I need a stand mixer? Yeah, you do. Here's 5 reasons why. Predictions. Color is huge, by the way. If you haven't realized that, it can trick us into buying yet another coffee pot because it's the color of the year. We like the color. Let's see. This is also something I want to share with you, is the idea behind the blog too is that it's interactive and people are going to comment. So this one has 4 different comments. And if we click here, people are going to say, I'm so glad to discover your blog, yada yada, and then somebody from the company, hopefully, actually this is just a fan, but if somebody from the company is following and monitoring this blog, they can get back to people with an answer. And then leave a comment. So that's the idea of this two-way street. It's not just a one-way read-only site anymore. The internet, the web 2.0 is very interactive. So that was good. All right, let's move on to microblogging. Microblogging are very short messages, limited in size. And the one that I think we all can think of is limited typically to 144 characters and then cut off. You guys know what it is? Twitter, yeah. So why would businesses microblog or be on Twitter, for example? Real-time communication, send important information, send out mini press releases. There's lots of reasons. Have any of you ever needed customer support from a company and have instead gone online to social media to get it? Couldn't the phones? So Paul Hoffman, who teaches software development here, is the big guy with the mohawk, tells a story about how he had an issue with Dish TV. And he called and talked to people and called and was on hold and talked to people and got nothing, no resolution. So he went on Twitter and said, hey, at Dish TV, blah, 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 like what his problem was. He got instant feedback and got it solved. Because how many people are on Twitter that could have seen that? Yeah. Often you'll see, hey, Delta, thanks for stranding me in Detroit again. And poor Delta Airlines has to say, you know, we are so sorry that blah, blah, blah. So businesses and calling out, like customer support using Twitter is ridiculously popular right now. At the business name and tell them your story, and I can guarantee you're going to get a quick response. Also, when they do respond publicly, other people see that and have a better opinion of the company. So Zappos was a shoe company, and I think it's kind of everything right now. The CEO of that company has a Twitter feed, lots of followers, and because of that, again, humanizing, putting a voice behind the company. You can follow celebrities on Twitter. That's what a lot of people do, I know. You know, you're not going to follow them on Facebook. They're not going to add you as a friend, but on Twitter, you can follow them. You can follow topics, hashtags, something that's trending. All right, podcasts. How many of you listen to podcasts? More and more kind of mainstream, I think, now. People really enjoy that. So podcasting is similar to a radio broadcast, but kind of better in that if you want to start a podcast, you can. All you need is a microphone and a way to store, upload your podcast. Little money to get started, and exempt from FCC oversight. So all those rules that you can't do things on the real radio, you can do whatever you want on your podcast. So these typically cater to niche markets, and you record your audio file and upload them to a server, and then people can access them and listen to them whenever they want. So I'm not going to assign a podcast to everyone, but how many of these companies that you just went to have podcasts? I want you to do a search for the company you just did and see if they have a podcast anywhere. And then if you are into podcasts, if you could, when we come back, also maybe share one. Like if your company didn't have one, if you could share a podcast or a location where you can go and look at lots of different podcasts. We'll talk about that. Okay, I'm going to assume this was pretty quick. If you did a Google search, you either found it or you didn't. Paul, what company did you do originally for the business blog to see if they had a business blog?
I did American Eagle.
Okay, do they have a podcast?
They do not, but they do have a blog.
Okay, they have a blog. Brandy, would you do this one?
I've heard that we have Starbucks.
Yeah?
They don't really have, all I know is they have like music playlist that they offer.
They have a playlist they offer?
Yeah.
Okay, but not like a spoken blog?
Correct.
Okay. Anybody find one? Did any of yours that you intentionally looked up have a podcast?
They had one, but it ceased production in 2016 because it didn't gain any traction.
And who was that? What company?
ASOS.com.
Okay. All right. So some businesses do. They want to talk about things, and people have an interest in following that. So if you are into podcasts at all, in any way, shape, or form, can any of you share personal experience of what you listen to or where you go get it? How you find them? Yes.
A podcast app on
On your phone, you have a podcast app? Okay. And then what do you listen to?
Joe Rogan Experience.
Hmm?
The Joe Rogan Experience.
What's that about?
It's just some guy who just talks about everyday things.
Okay.
But I guess he has his opinions and stuff, and also he's like sponsored. Honestly, it's probably the biggest podcasting right now.
Okay.
Joe Rogan Experience, I'd say so.
Huh. Anybody else listen to stuff? Kind of want to, everybody's like, you should do this when you drive, just listen to podcasts on stuff you like. I heard there's a podcast of insider information on The Bachelor, so you can go and listen to what's going on and all the dirt behind the scenes and conspiracy theories, if you're into that. NPR, National Public Radio, has podcasts, lots of them. I know there's lots of murder mystery type things or true crime podcasts that a lot of people enjoy listening to. So, from a business standpoint, though, you might want to record your annual meeting and put it up as podcasts where people can listen to it that weren't able to be there or go back and reference it. So you might record, every hour of your convention and post it to a site where people can go back and listen. All right, wikis I'm going to cover really quickly, but you guys, I'm sure, know Wikipedia, right? That's just a word. So wikis, by definition, are collaborative. A community of people develop the content, and it's kind of a group blog. So on a wiki on Abraham Lincoln, at least in theory, whoever writes something there as the truth, if people agree with it, it stays, but if they don't, people overwrite it and change things. So it's like always evolving and supposedly then current and correct. Businesses can use wikis as kind of a internal internet, a repository of all their documents. So at LTC, we actually have something like this, and I'll just show you real quickly what it looks like. LTC view. So when you go to our website, this is what you guys see, and if you're students, you can go here. If we're staff, we can go to this other thing, and it's called The Bridge. And this is our wiki within the company where all different forms, everything we ever needed to know, all calendars, all first day of attendance, how to do it, all these things are here. So it's a repository of documents, and lots of people can put them there. Once we do our syllabi for each class, we have to upload them to a storage space here, so anybody can get to that within the company. So that's what wikis do. They're kind of a repository. And they might be good in your company if you want to kind of set up an internal intranet real quickly and put a lot of your corporate documents out there in a place where everybody can get to them. Meeting notes, agendas, calendars can be put there. So when people ask a question, you can just say, as they do here, go to the bridge. It's on the bridge. You'll find what you're looking for on the bridge. However, not so good for you if it's complex file formats. You need to have a staff member that's going to take charge of it and kind of make sure nothing goes wrong. And you also have to look at like security and safety and privacy laws. Is it stuff that people can access or not? So wikis anybody can build, but might not be the thing for your business. So there's 4 components. The first was social media. That was the big one. We're finally getting to component 2, which is content sharing. I want to share content that I personally made on the internet. What can I use to do that? Where can I put my content? Think videos, pictures. YouTube. Lots of people have YouTube channels. Lots of people just post individual things to YouTube and share it with family or friends. Photos. Do any of you share photos online with family and friends somehow? Upload them and say, you can go look at the album and print whatever you want. I'm not going to print 700 things for the whole family. So, you can upload and share text, photos, videos, ebooks, presentations. Why would you want to do that? Maybe to gain recognition, to show your expertise, to share your experiences. So photo sharing sites, Google Photos, Flickr, Shutterfly, Tumblr, YouTube. YouTube is huge. How many of your companies have a YouTube channel, do you think, if you had to guess? Raise your hand if you think the company that you're researching right now has a YouTube channel. I think that's probably a good guess. It's very likely that they do. So that's the other one, sharing things, sharing documents, sharing photos. The third component of Web 2.0, what makes the web different from the original static version, was filtering and recommendations. So what comes to mind when I say, where are you going to find recommendations on something? What kind of a website would you go to for recommendations?
Yelp.
Yelp? Yeah. What do you guys, do you use Yelp? No, I don't either. Anybody use it? I would not say that I've never used it, but typically if I'm in a town that's new to me, if I'm traveling and I don't know it, I might go somewhere there. Like Yelp, find a good pizza place close by, one that gets 5 stars. What other filtering or recommendation sites can you think of?
Is Reddit one?
Kind of, yes. Yep.
I never used it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one. Yeah, that's kind of news.
Yeah.
And filtered into different, like what's popular and what's not. How about anybody ever gonna do a vacation or travel somewhere, thinking about like there's 17 hotels in this 1 block radius, which one do you book with?
Like a Trivago or stuff like that.
Yeah, Trivago, Expedia. Not only do you want to filter by location, price, do they have internet, you also want to filter by 2 stars or higher, or 3 stars or higher, okay? How would you have done that pre-internet, pre-Web 2.0? You wouldn't have really known. You would have known, okay, there's 17 hotels on this block. This was a Holiday Inn. I think I trust them. Okay, done. And the Super 8 next door might have been nicer and cheaper, unless you call everybody and you don't really know that. So on some of these sites, individuals provide their opinions and develop recommendations. So the more people that go on and give it a 5-star rating and write something nice about it, they're building up this company. So do you have a 5-star rating on Google? Do you have a 5-star rating on Yelp? These are important things. So this tends to replace those expert opinions, once limited to powerful individuals, and now it's the bulk people. And then likes on Facebook also will drive traffic to websites, so it's kind of the same thing. Social bookmarking relies on users to create a self-organized referencing system. So a community member finds a website that they want to remember and they bookmark it. And the software will add the bookmark to the database. And then the more people that bookmark that same site and say, this is good, I want to remember it and go back to it, the more popular it becomes. So some popular social media, or social bookmarking, it's not social media, are some of these. Reddit, Dig, and StumbleUpon, which is now called Mix. Do any of you know any of those, or have you used any of them?
Heard.
Heard of them? Okay. Let's pop to Reddit. And take a peek here. So Reddit is where news is posted. Hate all that stuff. And people vote it up or down. So it goes up or down this list depending on how many people are liking it. So it can be silly, silly, silly things. It can be funny memes. It can be actual news. But depending on how many people like it, it goes up and down this list. Let's see. Dig. Photos from Wuhan under quarantine. Nobody outside. That's scary. Again, this one gets voted up or down, and it's based on popularity. The other one that I want to share with you is it used to be called StumbleUpon. It's now called Mix. And this one I actually would recommend to you if you have hobbies, interests, things that you're fired up about, because when you sign in with this, you pick things that interest you. So maybe photography, dogs, fashion, sports cars, whatever it is, and it will pop up kind of like in a Pinterest sort of a grid, pictures of maybe a cool car and cool fashion, and here's a camera. And those are actually links to something that's going on, like that picture, maybe it's a new Canon camera, and you click on it and you end up at either Canon's site or somebody's site talking about it. So that's why StumbleOn was a great name for it, because I would literally say, oh my gosh, I stumbled upon this cool website. I was looking at graphic design and I clicked on this, and now I found this awesome website that I would have never found. I literally stumbled upon it. But it's based on your interests, and then it kind of gives you a feed of different things, kind of like Pinterest. So Mix is the name of this one. Very interesting if you're into food or fashion, like I said, whatever. There's a million things there. And it's tailored to you. It's personalized. Tagging is another part of this third option, where descriptive words are assigned by people to help identify content. Makes it easier to find again. So Facebook tagging, you guys know when you tag your friends, then it pops up in their feed. When you tag a city, if people do a search for that city name, those images might show up. The drawback is that, of course, people can mistag things, misspell things. It can be tagged incorrectly on purpose. And then there's geotagging, which actually tags things based on the geographic location of where it is. So if you go to an interactive map of New York City and you click on a certain corner, if anything has been tagged with that geo-coordinate, that stuff would populate and show you. Drawbacks can be inaccurate, and there are absolutely no standards. People can tag things however they'd like. And then the final component to Web 2.0 is apps, applications. Did our phones used to have apps for smartphones? We just had to go to the internet in general and then find Amazon, or go to the internet in general and find Twitter. Now the apps allow us to get straight to those things, and there's also a lot that we can do with business. So what can you do on your computer that's web-based for business? How can you use that you can collaborate with people, or you don't have to be sitting at this exact workstation to do your homework because of, like, what apps allow you to do things anywhere?
OneDrive.
OneDrive, Blackboard, yeah. You can store things remotely. How about like Word online, the Word version that's not tied to an actual computer, where it's saved in your OneDrive? So these apps are easy to use, low cost, and cross-platform. Whether you pull it up on your iPhone or your Samsung, you're going to be seeing the same thing. So virtual office tools, database systems, webmail, the fact that you don't have to go to one computer to access your email. Webmail is now any browser, anywhere you can get it. Graphic manipulation, so there's apps to fix your photos right on your phone, to add filters and tints and up the exposure. CRM for the marketing people, customer relationship management software is an app, and project management. So how many of you heard of and how many of you used? Think about things like Office Online. How many of you use Office Online? The Word, Excel, the online versions instead of that. Okay. How many of you use OneDrive or Dropbox or something like that to share your files? Okay. Have any of you collaborated with people on a document where everybody's typing at once? Okay, or doing things at the same time. Good. I don't even want to know how many apps are on your phone, because ballpark figure, how many do you think you have? I am curious now that I said that out loud. How many apps pop up on your screens? Count them up quick. Or do a rough count, like if there's 10 on a screen, how many screens do I have?
I have all mine organized in little folders.
Oh, you're smart.
Like how
I
many
have to
total
scroll.
apps?
How many?
Like how many total apps?
Yeah.
Like 75 to 100.
Wow.
I was gonna say about 25, but somewhere in there. I didn't
Around
really
25, yeah?
Like 6.
6.
It's a lot.
Yeah, okay. Oh, gosh, 90 to 100, yeah. Yeah, 30? 30? Okay. So depending on what you do and how many you use, I had an awful lot, and the other day I was kind of bored, and I just noticed, like, I don't use, there's one called like an open table where you can find a reservation, like last minute, where you can go maybe grab food. I like used it once, and I'm like, that does not need to live on my phone anymore. So, lots and lots. App development, the App Store is huge. The App Store grows. There are games. How many of you play games on your phone or your devices to pass time? Okay. So, I want to share an article and a really good website that are going to talk about social media trends. And Social Media Examiner is the name of a website that's got tons of great information. Really, really strong, especially for marketing students, which I know there's a bunch of them in here. So let's just look at the trends for 2020. What's coming? What do we need to be aware of, as a business especially? So, the death of the like button on Instagram. Who's on Instagram? A bunch of you, I think, said you are. Is this gone already?
Still there.
It's still there, okay. So, it's no secret that brands and human beings fixate on the likes. We talked about that. How many comments, how many followers we have as a measure of popularity and brand recognition. It's also having a negative impact, however, on our mental health. And so they're talking about changing that. Oh, shoot. Drawing a blank as to what they're going to call it. Do you guys know? Have you heard this story? Instead of being a like, it's something. There's a way of interacting that doesn't, like, it's not just a new thing that they're going to count, but it's a way of interacting without Shoot, I'm gonna look into that. So the death of the like button. Less emphasis on vanity metrics. Losing the like button is part of a broader trend to de-emphasize all of these vanity metrics. Follower counts are now meaningless, he's thinking. If you go back, he would not emphasize the like button nearly as much. So other things are going to become more important than just screaming how many followers you have. Video story content is king. So if you don't have a way for your business to share video snippets, you better figure that out. Content is king. Like we said, more people stop and look at a post if there's an image with it than if it's just text, and if it's a video, even more so. TikTok is disrupting social media. TikTok, Lasso, and Byte will continue to grow in popularity. Anybody heard of Lasso or Byte?
I've heard of Byte.
Yeah? Anybody heard of No? Okay. It's leading the way, especially with Gen Z users. The Chinese-owned social video app is well positioned to shape this trend. Social media audience segmentation is another hot trend for 2020. Strategically divide your audience into meaningful groups based on preferences. Goes beyond basic demographics. Personalized video marketing will become a thing. Not just a general video that you're going to watch, but something personalized to your needs or wants. Social shopping is going to be incorporated into these social platforms. Less public and more private interactions are a trend that's coming. Audiences want meaningful connections. Brands have to find a way to create more private, intimate connections with their audience without becoming intrusive, like the 20 emails a day that whoever's getting from the, who was that again? Sam, that was you, wasn't it? You're getting 20 emails a day from some company?
Yeah, from Redline.
That's a little intrusive, maybe. Authentic content. Again, being authentic is important because the minute you aren't, you start to lose trust as a company and obviously then followers. Influence marketers. Social media is a place to nurture trust. So those are some interesting trends that are coming along. Ooh, spin, slow down. And then finally, socialmediaexaminer.com is just a website that has a ton of information. MEDIINE. They also have a convention in San Diego, if you want to go to that. Lots of helpful articles on here. How to turn YouTube viewers into subscribers and leads. Leads lead to sales. If you're in business, you want to make a sale. That's all there is to it in business. Oops, not that. So tons of information, articles here, interviews. They've got great videos on here. They have a newsletter. So if you're into social media, if you're a marketing student, you're going to have whole classes on this. This is a great website to get information and inspiration as well.
Do you consider, like, do you know what forums are online? Like, there's a lot of car ones, and even for like other products and non-car related, it'll be like for example, my car is called 370Z. If I type in 370Z forums, it's nobody that's popular. That's like just normal guys like me. Will type in like, I had this problem. And anybody else had this, and like every guy who's part of like this forum club in the whole country. So yes, and this is what I did to fix it.
Yes, those are awesome, and that's part of Web 2.0, that interaction that you can. It was kind of like when the internet first came out. There were chat groups. Like you could go into the Moms of Preschoolers chat group, and it was like that stupid little door icon. Like you'd enter a room and have a chat.
Yeah, just like that. And it's really
exactly.
It's like really cheaply made, the website too. It's just text, and that's all it is. But you get your answer.
Exactly, but who cares? Can I pull that up?
Look up 370Z forums. I mean,
not X. My finger over.
I was going to that top one. I mean,
yeah.
That's what I use all the time. It's just a bunch of random people talking about and complaining and trying to fix things.
Exactly. And if you had a question specific to that car, why not go to the people that have it and have fixed it and have done something with it?
Yeah, and it's not like some market trying to sell you a part. It's what, and they'll say like, there's no point of spending this much, just get the cheap one and be done with it, or vice versa.
Exactly. That's kind of like that recommendations
Yeah.
component of it.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
This, and you've seen these for other topics too, right? Forums. That's a great thing to bring up. There's a forum on, I'm sure if you are on a keto diet and you want to talk to other people, there's probably a forum just like this that's all text, not pretty, but real people telling their real stories, like buy this, not this, because this is equal but way cheaper.
Yeah, my buddy does it. He's a bodybuilder, and
Yeah.
he's just ripped out of his mind. He's always on forums talking to people like
Nutrition and
amino acids and things. I don't know, but what's the whole take?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. Thank you for bringing up forums. That's an excellent example. This did not exist before the web got interactive, where people could post, answer, publish their own content.
Yeah.
Great example. Okay, that's it. So, for next week, what I'd like you to do is find a current article, so something in the last, after 2018 minimum, 2019 for sure, on any one of these Web 2.0 topics that interest you. I'll go back to them in a second. I want you to write a 1 to 2 page reflection paper on why you chose that topic, what you learned, and how you think it's going to affect business practices in the future. So any topic within the things we talked about today, and I'll go back to what those 4 points are. And then I also want you to go ahead in the online book and look at chapters 2 and 3. Chapter 2 is on blogging for business. We actually will be making a business blog ourselves. And then it's on RSS and podcasting. So kind of stuff that we touched on lightly today. And have more information. So go through those 2 chapters. Yep.
What's RSS?
Real Simple Syndication is the name of it. It's that little orange symbol that's got like 3 lines.
I've seen it everywhere so many times, but like, what is it? Like, I'm sure you probably personally use it some ways. What is
Well, I don't use it as much as I should, but the cool thing is that you go to, if you're on a site, what's the blog or the podcast that you listen to?
Joe Rogan Experience.
Joe Rogan Experience. If you see that icon there and you click on that, if on your phone, computer, whatever, you have an RSS, is reader the right word? Not really. It's kind of just the software that like brings it all together. You can go on and say, I want to follow this, 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 and this. And that Joe Rogan Experience podcast might be one of them. And then, because you signed up for it, the Real Simple Syndication pushes it to you in that piece of software and will say, hey, there's 3 new ones as of today. Or you follow this guy's blog, he posted a new blog today, here it is. It pushes it to you. So you don't have to go out and look for things.
So would that be like the notification thing on YouTube when like the videos pop up?
Kind of, yeah.
It's like
Yes.
alerts.
Yeah. Yep. And on a web page, we're actually going to build web pages in this class. You can embed an RSS feed. So say your web page is on a campground in Northern California, and there's an RSS feed of that city's daily newspaper. And so it would populate on your website whatever stuff they're saying that day, like the top news for that city that day, whatever that newspaper is saying, automatically gets pushed and populated onto your website in that RSS reader. So it's a great way to get content pushed to you based on what you want and like. So yeah, we'll talk about that next week. So again, you're going to write, I want you to find a current article on any Web 2.0 topic. And what is Web 2.0? It is these 4 things. Social media, content sharing, like YouTube, Flickr, Tumblr, filtering and recommendations, like these forums, Yelp, things like that, or web apps, like how can businesses be more productive using Google Chat instead of having meetings. So find an article on any one of these, or why Instagram needs to be on your social media for a business. If there's an article like that, that's a great article. So it's on one of those, not the whole thing. Something drilled down within there that interests you. Okay?
Blackboard?
I'm going to actually have you print and turn them in when you get here.
No, but like, is it these instructions on Blackboard?
Oh, If they aren't, they will be,
Okay.
and the PowerPoint will be also. Let's go look and see. Well, let's take a look at one of it. Technologies. All right. I will update the videos. The PowerPoint, I'll make sure that's today's PowerPoint if it isn't. These are all the things that we did in class. And your assessment, yes. Find the current blah, blah, blah. A printout is due at the beginning of class and be prepared to discuss with class. I'm going to take out this find an example of a real business that blogs because we already did that in class, so we don't need to do that as homework. Okay. So any questions? Print it out, have it ready right when you get here, and we'll talk about it briefly, but I'll look at them all as papers later. Okay. That's all I have for you today, so we can work on this, or what do.